Police watched the surveillance footage once, then immediately watched it a second time in complete disbelief.
A pregnant college student vanished, but her phone kept sending text messages long after she was already gone.
The killer was caught on camera walking right past police, carrying the victim inside a bag the whole time. She came to collect $600 in rent, and that simple decision ended up costing her everything she had.
Her thesis was about women who go missing and are never found. Then she became one of them herself.
Police officers watched the surveillance footage and suddenly froze in complete shock. A man walked out of the building carrying a large, heavy-looking hockey bag. Detectives believed he was carrying a woman's body out of that building. The victim was a 26-year-old pregnant criminology student named Loretta Saunders. She had walked into her apartment that morning to collect rent money. Security cameras captured her entering the building, but no footage showed her leaving after her tenants were about to become the prime suspects in this case. Her boyfriend received strange text messages from her phone, and something felt completely wrong. The messages were short and sharp and did not sound like her. One message said she was nervous and could not remember her own mother's name. Another message claimed she was staying at a friend's place that night. Loretta was the kind of person who stayed in touch with family every hour. When that sudden silence appeared, her family knew something was very wrong. Days passed without anyone seeing Loretta and without anyone hearing a word from her. Her car vanished, but all her belongings were still inside her home. The police were called by day 3 and a missing person report was filed. Detectives discovered her bank cards were still being used through contactless payments. Store cameras captured a woman paying with Loretta's card, but it was definitely not her. Another video showed someone different sitting behind the wheel of Loretta's own car. Police found her car hundreds of miles away, parked outside a house in Ontario. The people inside that house were Blake Leggett and Victoria Henry, her tenants. They were immediately arrested for possession of a stolen vehicle and improper card use. Neither would reveal anything about what actually happened to Loretta that day. Investigators reviewed the building surveillance from February 13th and discovered something very disturbing. At 2:30 that afternoon, Blake walked out carrying a heavy hockey bag. He returned twice more, each time bringing out additional bags that appeared equally heavy. On the final trip, Victoria was walking right beside him carrying more bags. Officers who watched this footage said it felt absolutely chilling knowing the full context. It was becoming clear that Loretta was likely inside that heavy hockey bag. Detectives gained access to Blake's phone and discovered a video that changed everything completely. He had recorded himself arguing with Victoria while drunk days before Loretta disappeared. In that recording, Victoria talked about wanting to kill Loretta, and Blake never denied. Police decided to show Victoria this video during one of her interrogation sessions. After a long, heavy silence, she finally broke down and spoke the truth at last. She said Blake killed Loretta by suffocating her with a plastic bag. According to Victoria, the motive was avoiding $600 in rent they owed. But investigators learned Loretta had asked them to leave after months of tension. They consistently paid rent late or not at all until her patience finally ran out. That day, she came to the apartment and sat waiting for the money. Blake walked up behind her and suddenly began choking her without any warning at all. Loretta fought back, desperately trying to break free from the sudden, brutal attack. They struggled violently and eventually fell to the floor together during the intense fight. Blake then tried suffocating her with 4 plastic bags placed over her head. But Loretta kept fighting and tore through each bag with everything she had. He slammed her head against the floor twice until she finally stopped moving. Then he wrapped her head in plastic and placed her body inside his hockey bag. He dragged the bag down the stairs and loaded it into a car trunk. They drove away using a bank card to buy food as if nothing had happened. Victoria used Loretta's phone to send fake messages to her worried boyfriend Yelchin. 2 weeks later, Victoria finally agreed to show investigators where Loretta's body was hidden. On the side of a highway 300 miles away, they made their discovery. Loretta's body was found still inside that same hockey bag they had used on her. The autopsy confirmed the worst fears and concluded that Loretta had been suffocated violently. Blake pleaded guilty to first-degree murder and received an automatic life sentence in prison. He will not be eligible to apply for parole until 25 years pass. Victoria pleaded guilty to second-degree murder and also received a life sentence. She will be eligible to apply for parole after just 10 years in prison. The judge described the crime as disgusting, horrific, cowardly, and beyond any reasonable explanation. For Loretta's family, the entire court process became an emotionally exhausting and devastating ordeal. Her mother Miriam said she wanted the death penalty for these cold-blooded murderers. She could not understand how Victoria got only 10 years for her pregnant daughter. Loretta's sibling DM shouted at Blake and Victoria when emotions became too overwhelming in court. Someone in the courtroom yelled they would be waiting for Blake when he got out. The pain and anger were raw and uncontrolled after years of suffering built up. Loretta had overcome addiction, rebuilt her life, and was 2 months away from graduation. She was 3 months pregnant and engaged to her loving boyfriend when she was killed. Everything she worked so hard to build was taken over just $600. She dreamed of becoming a lawyer and making documentaries about Indigenous women's rights issues. Her death, along with other cases, led to a national inquiry launched in Canada. That inquiry was completed in 2019, leaving important findings and recommendations for future action. Her sibling DM received the Ambassador of Conscience Award from Amnesty International for advocacy work. DM created a blog called A Homicide Survivor's Journey Through Grief to help others. Tragically, DM passed away in September 2021 from complications caused by addiction. The grief from losing Loretta continued to cause devastating and lasting pain for the family. Loretta had been writing a thesis on missing and murdered Indigenous women across Canada. She wanted to give voice to those who were often ignored and forgotten by society. Loretta once wrote these powerful words in a thesis that she was incredibly proud of. "My story is not unique, and thousands of girls go through the exact same things. Through this project, I hope to educate people and inspire real, meaningful, lasting change." Those words she wrote now carry even more weight than they ever did before. Loretta Saunders was taken too soon, but her powerful message will never be forgotten.